ॐ विश्वं दर्पणदृश्यमाननगरी तुल्यन्निजान्तर्गतं पश्यन्नात्मनि मायया बहिरिवोद्भूतं यथा निद्रया यः साक्षात् कुरुते प्रबोधसमये स्वात्मानमेवाद्वयं तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये। बीजस्यान्तरिवाङ्कुरो जगदिदं प्राङ्निर्विकल्पं पुनः मायाकल्पितदेशकालकलना वैचित्र्यचित्रीकृतं मायावीव विजृम्भयत्यपि महायोगी वयस्वेच्छया तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये। तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ Verse 54. ताभ्यां निर्विचिकित्सेऽर्थे चेतसस्थापितस्य यत् एकतानत्वमेतद्धि निदिध्यासनमुच्यते. So we have started discussing nididhyasanam starting from verse 54 and it will go up to verse 62. And this is the last topic in this chapter. And we discussed yesterday what is called nididhyasana. The three things are there in this definition of nididhyasana. What is the first thing? Tabhyam nirvichikitse arthe. Tabhyam. So following them means what? But in the previous verse, Shravanam and Mananam has been defined, right? In verse 53 itself again. And so Tabhyam means Shravana Mananabhyam, following this Shravanam and Mananam, Nirvichikitse Arthe. Now the Artha, the meaning of or purport of the Vedanta has become Nirvichikitsam. Vichikitsa means Samshaya. Nirvichikitsam means it has become free from any doubt. To that purport, which has become very clear to you through Shravanam and Mananam, to that purport, Chetasaha Sthapitam, that's the second thing in Nididhyasana. So, you entertain a thought now. Chetasaha Sthapitam means basically fixing the mind on that purport, that you are Brahman. That is clear to you now because of Shravanam and Mananam. So, fix your mind in that. Fixing your mind is basically entertain a vritti. You should have a vritti. What is that vritti? Brahmakara vritti. What is that Brahmakara vritti? So it's a word, Brahmakara vritti, Brahmakara vritti. So basically mind will become of the size of Brahman. What? So basically Parvatakara vritti means what? Mind will assume a form of a Parvatam. Mind then Ramakara vritti. Mind assumes a form of a Rama, Lord Rama. So when the object of thought is basically is Rama or basic mountain, etc. But what is this Brahmakara vritti? Brahmakara vritti is not mind assumes limitlessness. No. That's not that thing. We should understand everything is basically is non-separate from Brahman. So mind is also resting on Brahman. Because Brahman is basically Sarvadhara. So fixing the mind on Brahman means what basically? So we said you entertain a thought pertaining to the I and that is Brahman. But how can I do that? Well, remove the notion. You are Brahman and self-revealing, nothing to worry. You are not to illumine with the thought of the mind that let me illumine now I am Brahman or no. You are not to do that kind of a thing. Basically you have a certain notion, drop that notion. So then Brahman shines as it is. Right now it is shining. but you are not aware of because of the wrong notion you have pertaining to the self. So dropping the notion, that's what the nididhyasanam is, viparit bhavana nivritti. And therefore, well, Brahma Anusmaranam eva Brahmani Sthapanam, they call Brahma Anusmaranam. So basically, there is no other, no physical, mind has to unite with the Brahman, etc. Well, that is not kind of a thing because mind is already in Brahman. Nothing is away from Brahman. So only involves basically, Vedantic meditation involves entertainment of thoughts pertaining to Brahman that remove the notion. And then that's up. But what should I do for that purpose? How will I remove wrong notions? Take all words are there for you from the teaching. Pick up all these things which you have got it. Aham Shuddha. I am. Take that thought. No, but from where I should start? So well, whatever the thing which bothers you most about yourself, that you pick up. If you are too much fearful, well, pick up that you are basically fearless. That's how it is. You have fear of death, or you have fear of some injury, or you have fear of some person, whatever. Well, definitely pick up that one, that I am fearless. How I am fearless? Why I has all kind of fear? Why it has so much of fear? Think that well, I consider myself, when I am fearful, what I is there which is so fearful? Definitely with the body. Definitely. So am I body? Think that way. So this is all, you are in a process now. You are in a channel to drop the notion. And then ultimately you will have a clear understanding that I am fearless consciousness. Ultimately I am consciousness which is fearless. And that understanding about yourself is establishing in Brahman. That's all it is. Nothing to think of that, well, I will know fearless, I will see fearless Brahman. Forget about it. So you will never see, you will understand yourself as fearless Brahman. You will understand yourself as unrelated Brahman. That's what it is. So dropping the notion that you are relative of somebody. So well, you are not a father, you are not a mother, etc. All this is pertaining to the body. I am not this body. Why I am not body? Well, that is what. But Swamiji, I don't understand why I am not body. Okay, then just get up. Just get up from the nididhyasana. Then again start Shravanam. How I am in consciousness. Start from there. So then again, this is what it is. That's how I say. Mananam should remove your doubt. What you hear that you are basically, you are not this body, etc., will not be helpful. Honestly speaking, it is not helpful unless you assimilate it in that way. Well, in your mind, you should be clear that I am not the body. That's how they say tabhyam, shravana mananabhyam nirvichikitsam. Free from doubt, it should be there. Then you will immediately do nididhyasana. Nothing to worry. Because in nididhyasanam, no new knowledge is going to be created. Only we are removing this wrong notions pertaining to the self. That is what the fixing the mind. Retaining the thought centered on the self. And this, well, to retain those thoughts, well, definitely, to entertain the thought, first thing is, definitely you require the whole teaching, which is crystal clear to you. And that is, entertaining that thought, that's called dharana. Fixing the mind in Yoga Shastra, they call dharana. And then dhyanam, that also has been told, ekatanatvam, sajati vritti pravaha. Continuous flow of the self. Centered on the self. So, vijatiya pratyaya anantarita sajatiya vritti pravaha. So, flow of a similar thoughts to the exclusion of all dissimilar thoughts. Dissimilar thoughts means what? You start thinking something immediately about body, something about your son, or something about your somebody else, or something about even politics, some president, etc. All anatma thoughts. That's all dissimilar thoughts. So consciously keep them away. And so that is then sajati vritti pravaha, that is called ekatanatvam. So we so we are not particular that all thoughts should be same. Aham shuddha, aham shuddha, aham shuddha. I am pure, I am pure, I am pure, I am pure, I am pure. Swamiji, that kind of a thing you are telling? No, not at all. So, we are not particular about the same thoughts. We are particular about similar thoughts. Similar thoughts. Centered on self, whatever you want to think, you think. That's called dhyana. Centered on yourself. Centered on yourself, think anything. Still you are in dhyana. Not that I am Shuddha, I am Shuddha, I am Shuddha. Well, I am Asanga. No, that is not. No. Think that way. That is also fine. But don't leave the self and think about anatma, etc. Non-self. That is dissimilar thought. So, Vijatiya Pratyaya Anantarita Sajatiya Vritti Pravaha. Vijatiya Pratyaya Anantarita. Undistracted by this Vijatiya Pratyaya, undistracted by these dissimilar thoughts, when I maintain all the thoughts centered on the self. And how do I maintain? Whole your teaching is there from Shravanam and Mananam. That's what you have heard. You are not totally new. What is this I am Asanga? Then definitely no, don't waste your time in Nididhyasana. Listen. But then I want to do Nididhyasana. Repeated Shravanam itself is a Nididhyasanam for you. Don't sit, because you are not able to bring those kind of things. And perhaps you may bring a word Asangaha, but then you are not able to move further. What is this Asangatva? I don't know. Sangha, Swamiji said Sangha means relationship. So, Asanga means free from relationship. But I am free from relationship. What is that thing? I don't have any relation with anybody. What is this? I don't know. Then just get up. Just get up. No, that Nididhyasanam is unsuccessful. Totally clarity. Pick up few words. I'm giving you another few tips for that. Pick up few words. On this, Anantam, Nityam and Shuddham and Buddham and Muktam, etc. Asangam, Advitiyam, all these words pick up and write few lines about from the notes, from the listening. Write few lines about every word and ponder over it again and again and make it yourself clear. Because somebody told me, Swamiji, how can I bring hope? You are saying that what you have already recorded in Shravanam, you have to play in Nididhyasana. I cannot play. I cannot remember a whole 1 hour lecture. Well, but I am not telling you to remember 1 hour lecture. But whatever is there in between all this description about Atma, those things you have to remember. And even if you can't remember, nothing to worry. Make a page, 1 page or 2 pages, in which all these words are there and explanation of words are there, Nityam, etc. So, that you can definitely do. I am Kutastha. Oh, I am Kutastha. I am Kutastha. So, our mind becomes Kutastha. It is not allowing us to go ahead. So, no, then keep a page in front of you, and then you can sit and think. Then definitely it will be helpful to you. Because somebody asked me, Swamiji, how can I know that my knowledge is definitely free from doubt? That's a question, yeah. So, as I said, you sit down and pick up any word and you are able to ponder over it pertaining to Atma, whatever description is there in Bhagavad Gita chapter 12, in chapter 2, verse 12 to 25 or something. So many words Bhagavan used for Atma and explained also. So if you are able to ponder over it with the help of notes also you are finding difficult, well then definitely Nididhyasanam is right now little away from us. Then keep repeating, listening, again and again listening. That itself is a Nididhyasanam. I have discussed this in Atma Bodha. The various types of Nididhyasanams are there. Discussion with someone else. And teaching to somebody, suppose in case if you find some victim, etc., then also teaching to that person, or else discussion, or else repeated Shravanam, or else making notes, or referring notes again and again, something. Anyway, so these are all various types of Nididhyasana. So, but one thing is there, the Samadhi Abhyasa, Nididhyasana is very important. There are certain core issues we have. they will not go well unless you sit and do this kind of things. Well, chetasa sthapitam, fixing the mind, etc., means entertaining the thought pertaining to the self. And dhyanam also means, and sustain those thoughts, similar thoughts also for a length of time, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, etc., whatever. So you don't require to sit more than 15 minutes. Really speaking, nobody is required to sit for more than 15 minutes. But twice a day or thrice a day, if you are able to do, and then it's good. So aham shuddhaha, aham nityaha, etc., aham asangaha, aham purnaha, these are all similar thoughts. So we don't require same thoughts. Aham asangaha, aham asangaha, aham asangaha, that is not required. So different thoughts and with the same object, the self here. So well, that is we said, we ponder over the teaching which we have received, and then definitely this is called nididhyasanam. So 3 factors are there. The clarity regarding the teaching from Shravan Mananam, and then fixing the mind, entertaining the thought pertaining to the self, and maintaining those thoughts, similar thoughts. Etad nididhyasanam uchyate, this is nididhyasanam. Now let's go to verse 55. Dhyatrudhyane parityajya kramadhyeyeka gocharam nivatadipavachittam samadhirabhidhiyate. So now Vidyaranya deals with a samadhi. Very interesting thing, very interesting. Because dharana, dhyanam and samadhi. Dhyanam we have discussed. Ekatanatvam we have discussed. And now definitely samadhi we have to discuss. This samadhi is a possible consequence of nididhyasana. This, please understand this. Possible consequence of nididhyasanam is a samadhi. We'll interpret the samadhi in our own way. Basically, samadhi means an absorption, and it's a faculty of the mind actually. It has nothing to do with the mysticism. Nothing to do with the mysticism. It's a normal, natural faculty of any mind. I will show you the example in which you will feel, yeah, this is my own thing. I have experienced samadhi. So when you start thinking in a given line, then mind can gradually absorb in that thing. Generally we are absorbed in our own worries of the family, etc. There also we get absorbed. And that's how chinta magnaha they call. Chinta magnaha. Magnaha means merging. There is a dhatu called majj. Majj means to take a deep into. Means as though you are totally drowned into that. Magnaha. Chinta magnaha. So this person has, as though is drowned into a pool of worries. It's absorbed into worries. So we have that faculty, absorption. But basically the difference is the object of absorption is different here. So there person the object of absorption is a worries. Here the faculty of the object of absorption is the self. That's what the difference is. But faculty of absorption is same, and it is available for everyone. An artist also has a faculty of absorption. Archer also has a faculty of absorption. Chess player has a faculty of absorption. A devotee of a cricket, not cricketer, a devotee of a cricket who is watching the match, he is also has a absorption faculty. And last over, World Cup, last over 4 balls are left and 13 runs has to be done to win the World Cup. And India is playing. And each ball, then this fellow is watching, sitting in a living room in his home, and he's watching. And at that time, anything is 1 wicket we have. So we have to create an excitement. 1 wicket is left. And the fellow is in Nirvikalpak Samadhi. I tell you, atom bomb will somebody in the next door, and they have a marriage, and they are they are They have crackers and they're all doing that thing. Well, this fellow is least concerned. His mother is shouting, go and to the market and bring buttermilk. He is not listening. He is sitting on the edge of this chair, edge of the chair. If he just come little forward, he will fall down. But he is not aware. What is the time? What is the place? What are the people? What is the surrounding? Not aware of anything. In his mind is just this match. That the person who is playing, that our cricketer, who is playing, that thing is there. Even he is not aware that he is watching the match. Even that also is not there. Just the object of meditation is there. Please understand. Total absorption with the object of the seeing. That is a match. Well, definitely. So we have that capacity, absorption capacity we have. Some people have a voracious reader, and when they are involved, initially not samadhi. First page when he is reading a detective story, Sherlock Holmes, and the first page no absorption. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so that line of thinking goes on. Now he is so absorbed, he doesn't know what's the time. He has to sleep because next day morning he has to go for a job. He is not aware of the time, nothing. And other people are sleeping when his wife has come and slept, and other children are sleeping. And what people are doing surrounding him, he is not aware of the situation, he is not aware of the time, he is not aware of the place where he has sat for reading. Nothing. He is a reader itself is forgotten. Please understand, I am trying to build what is called samadhi. It's total absorption with the object of experience is samadhi. And everyone has an experience with one or other thing. Everyone has an experience. If some person says, I have never been absorbed, I can tell you, he is absorbed at least in the worries of a son or worries of something. Even I can tell you from your face that right now you are in a samadhi. Some people go to samadhi in the class also. Some people go to samadhi in the class. They are in the class, but they are not aware that they are in the class. Really. They are not aware at all. They are seeing me also. Their eyes are open. And so, concentrating on me as if I am an object of meditation for them. But their mind has something else. Understand this. So, this kind of a samadhi means something, which is beyond our experience. One cannot say that. Object of meditation differs. That's all the thing is. Anyway, so, samadhi does not require a padmasanam or closing the eyes. In middle of the class, person get absorbed in something else also, etc. Now let's come to Vedantic Samadhi. So, because we have to talk about here, after Nididhyasanam, this kind of thing can occur to a person. So, in Vedantic concept, of course, this word is used by this Samadhi. Actually, we have borrowed from Yoga Shastra, and their definition of Samadhi is, well, we cannot accept it. It is totally a thoughtless state. Right now, we accept it. There is no such thing called thoughtless state, but you accept right now. What they say. They say samadhi means a thoughtless state. Nirvikalpa means no kind of a vikalpa, no thoughts, no kind of a dvaitam, no plurality at all. And in Vedanta we are not interested in this kind of a state, except it gives such kind of a so-called thoughtless state. It gives some kind of a rest to the body, and I am free from the transaction, etc. And other people also get some peace of the mind if I withdraw like that, and therefore, well, that is okay. So it's a deep relaxation, basically. Other than that, we don't see any benefit, really speaking. And I'm going to talk about in Nirvikalpa Samadhi of them also. How it will not benefit to us, that I will tell a little later. So it does not lead to knowledge or anything. If anything gives us a knowledge, then it is benefit to us. That's our criteria of a benefit. Our criteria of benefit, any kind of a state, any state of experience, if it gives you some kind of a knowledge pertaining to the self, It removes a self-ignorance. Well, it is benefit to us. Samadhi basically where all the faculties of knowledge they are suspended, and therefore it's not useful to us. And so we call it the samadhi of a yoga, or the yogis, we call it as a jada samadhi or andha samadhi. It's a very similar to the deep sleep state. Very, very similar to deep sleep state. The only thing is, in both the state, this avidya vritti, the ignorance continues. The ignorance, ignorance vritti continues in both. So we are not interested in that. Where, if anything, any state of experience which removes ignorance, we are interested. That's benefit. But basically, samadhi is something where definitely let me talk about it before I go further. See, this nirvikalpaka samadhi can't give moksha. First criteria. It cannot give moksha because jnanam gives moksha, because definitely you are free and you are not believing that you are free. Then definitely you have to remove that notion that I am not free. And therefore, knowledge only can help you. Other than that, there is nothing. Because you have a wrong notion born of self-ignorance that I am not free. I am a samsari guy. I am subject to birth and death. I am subject to punya papa. I am a limited person. And I am related to all the people, etc., etc. All these are just notions. So you have to remove the notion. Notion cannot go unless the cause of the notion will be there. Cause of notions is definitely a jnana. You have a notion that this is a snake. How will you remove? So you should know that it is rope. That's all. So you should remove the rope ignorance. That's all. Then only the snake notion will go away. Same way here you have so many notions pertaining to I. So many notions. That's what autobiography is of any person. Is all notions. I was born in such and such village and I was brought up by my grandma and all that. This is all notion. I was born. That itself is a notion. Ajo nitya shashvatoyam purana. Bhagavan says you are not born at all. He says I am born in so and so village. I was born in 19 so and so year. Ho gaya kaam. So it starts with that. That itself is a problem. He is inviting all troubles. But sorry. Anyway, you and me can laugh in the room. You can't laugh outside. What I am saying is, this nirvikalpaka samadhi cannot give you moksha. Because moksha and jnanam goes together. Jnanam makes you free. Jnanam makes you free from all bondages. Jnanam makes you, this is an open statement. Jnanam of the self only removes human suffering. There is no way out. No way out. Wherever you want to reach and whatever position also you want to gain, you gain. Whatever money also you want to gain, gain. Anything you gain, you will not be free from suffering. This is my open statement. Anything you gain in the life, anything, whatever you gain, you will not be free from suffering, samsara. Only you have to knock off this notion, I am not samsari. That's enough. That is enough. I am not samsari. That is jnanam. I am samsari is ajnanam. Basically you are not, and therefore remove the notion, and therefore samadhi will not have. You have to have a knowledge. Knowledge is the only opposite thing to the ignorance. And for the knowledge will be always in the form of a thought. Vritti should be there. Well, I should have, if I say I should have a clip knowledge, then definitely a clip vritti should be there. How will I gain a clip knowledge without a thought pertaining to the clip? Anyway, Nanyah Pantha Vidyate Ayanaya. Purusha Suktam very beautifully said. Na Anyah Pantha Vidyate Ayanaya. For reaching to one's own abode, for reaching to one's own home, for reaching to one's own comfort, there is no way. Na Anyah Pantha. There is no marga. There is no other way. Well, and if being so, Nirvikalpa Samadhi cannot help. These yogis are all the time in the process of destroying the mind. They are in the process of, resolving the mind. Chitta vritti nirodha. Yogastu chitta vritti nirodha. Any kind of a chitta vritti means it's a problem, they think. And therefore nirodha, well, resolve it, abandon it. So that is how they do. All the Ashtanga Yoga is ultimately to kill the mind, to make it resolve. We say mind is required because knowledge alone will remove all notions. Knowledge only will make you free from all these notions. Bondage. And therefore, definitely Nirvikalpa Samadhi cannot give. First thing, Nirvikalpa Samadhi can't give you Jnanam. Because suppose they say, no, in our Samadhi we get Jnanam. Impossible. If you gain Jnanam in Nirvikalpa Samadhi, it is not a Samadhi at all. In their language. So Jnanam requires basically a means of knowledge. And you are resolving all means of knowledge, including mind. Jnanam definitely requires a pramana. And any Jnanam is produced by relevant pramana. And we have six-fold pramanas available to the human being. All the six means of knowledge they are resolving. Definitely first thing is, that is in the initial steps only. Well, all the indriyas should be shut down. Totally. And then still one more pramana is left here. That also they want to shut down. All means of knowledge they want to shut down. And that is what they call as a samadhi, thoughtless state. The very thoughtless state Vidyaranya is going to knock off. There is no thoughtless state. We are going to talk about it. So no pramana available, no means of knowledge available in Nirvikalpa Samadhi, so no Jnanam will be generated, and therefore Jnanam cannot be generated, then moksha cannot be available. And therefore, in a six means of knowledge, they have not included Samadhi at all. We have six means of knowledge, Pratyaksha, Anumana, and then Arthapatti, and all this. We have Anupalabdhi, etc., Shabda Pramana, etc. All six means of knowledge. Nowhere Samadhi is included. And therefore, moksha cannot be possible with Nirvikalpa Samadhi. Nirvikalpa Samadhi cannot improve the knowledge also. Suppose you have gained knowledge in a waking state and now you have gone to Samadhi and you want to improve. Perhaps Samadhi will improve the knowledge. Improve means what? Getting clarity or removing the obstacles. Samadhi can help in removing the obstacles. Sorry, sir. Sorry. That also cannot occur. How? Because any pratibandha nivrutti basically, or it requires a thinking. Because we have two types of obstacles. Either we have intellectual obstacles, which I talked to you yesterday, and then mananam helps you. Mananam means what? You have to do mananam means what? You have to make your knowledge free from doubts. So you have to think. How will you remove the doubts pertaining to the Atma is Brahman? You have some doubt. How can I be limitless? If you go to Samadhi, it is not going to help you. You have to think. You require a mind. And they say your mind has to be resolved. Samadhi means mind also has to be resolved. Well, definitely you cannot remove logical doubts if you go to Samadhi. And if you have emotional doubts, it doesn't help you at all. Because it is lying in the subconscious mind. It's all habits you have, or you are taking body as a self. Let's talk about that also. And there also Samadhi cannot help. So definitely those kind of pratibandha, emotional pratibandha, etc., kama, krodha, etc., let's say that kind of a thing. You have to think. Ultimately you have to bring it out from subconscious mind and remove it. Bring it to the conscious mind and you should remove it. Basically Samadhi cannot remove emotional issues also. And that is how those people, So samadhi in a yoga is basically like escapism, really speaking. They just escape themselves from the realities of the life, honestly speaking. And when they come out of the samadhi, they call vitthana. Well, ultimately they again face the problem. In fact, they feel more problems now. After going to samadhi and enjoying, definitely it's a almost thoughtless state in which your mind has got a rest, body has got a rest. Very beautiful state, comfortable state, no doubt about it. But once you come out of the samadhi, and you will come out, you are not going to sit for 30 years or 40 years, whatever your prarabdha is there. You may sit for a day or something. Whole day also is not possible. Let's say you sit for 24 hours. So when you come out, you feel more problems. The problems which were there of the same intensity after going to samadhi and again facing those problems, you have to face, because now you have come out. And those problems now they loom large in your mind, really. And that is why samadhi cannot improve knowledge. I mean, it cannot make your knowledge free from obstacles also. To make knowledge free from obstacles, mind is required. It may be a logical problem, issues are there, emotional issues are there. Basically, you have to have mind. You have to think and resolve. And therefore, Nirvikalpa Samadhi also is, it's like, basically, Nirvikalpa Samadhi is like, like our submarines, they go into the ocean. And after some time, they again surface. Same thing. So these people they take themselves into like in a deep ocean. And when they surface, when they come out of the samadhi, same issues they will have to tackle. And that's how they don't like. Again they want to go to samadhi. Again when they come out, the issue becomes, they loom large in their mind. Again they want to go. So this is basically a escapism. They think that destroying the mind, well, because that's the experience. They are not wrong, please understand. Because they have seen that deep sleep state is like samadhi, in which when mind resolves for 5 hours, 6 hours, etc., and then definitely you become fresh, everything, and you come out. But basically when you get up, you have to definitely face the same problem. So people, sometimes they fight in the family, your husband and wife fight. And then both go to different rooms and they sleep. And then, and when you get up, then you have to face the same husband and the issue with him and whatever. He has to she has to face, and that person also has to face her. And so what can you do? You have to ultimately face. Your going to sleep is not going to resolve your problem with the person. It's not going to resolve. It's a suspension. It's a suspension of the problem. That's how I say it's an escapism. It's just escapism. Facing the problem, resolving, understanding, that is the criteria. That's how we don't accept their samadhi. Nirvikalpa Samadhi, basically, there is an experience also of a subject-object, correct? Subject-object resolution. And that is like a Advaita experience. There is nothing other than me, etc. But it is not a thoughtless state. I will talk about it later. So, in a deep sleep, it is like a deep sleep state. In a deep sleep state also, you are not aware. You are not aware that there is a Jagat, that there is you yourself are there, you are not aware. Everything merges into one thing, right? And so you enjoy. In Advaita there is Ananda, that's we correct. So and that's how consciously you bring to a state, basically in which your mind, what happens is, mind projects everything, ultimately. See, because of mind you are, since there is a mind you are pramata, you are a knower. Since there is a mind, there is an object of knowledge also. Since there is a mind, there is a pramana also. I mean the thought, etc. is there. So all these triputis are there. And definitely this duality is there, plurality is there. So they found that because of mind, ultimately this duality, everything is there, resolve the mind. And they have a ready experience in their hand of a deep sleep state. That this is, see, when the mind resolves, no problem is there. And therefore let me resolve the mind. So they go through this Ashtanga Yoga and resolve the mind. They definitely resolve. That is how in fact, Savikalpak Samadhi, they say, I have noted here, this is an Ashtanga Yoga we say, Ashtanga. So then, this, our Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyan, Samadhi, etc. All these things are there. They are all Angas, including Samadhi. Savikalpaka Samadhi, they are all Angas. And ultimately, they are all meant for Angi. That is Nirvikalpa Samadhi. And in Nirvikalpa Samadhi, they say all types of thoughts are resolved. In fact, they say there are five types of thoughts are there in Nirvikalpa Samadhi, or they call it as a Asampragnata Samadhi, etc., in which all types of thoughts are resolved. The mind is resolved. If mind resolves, definitely there is no more projection of a plurality. Like in a deep sleep state, you don't have a sense of a duality, etc. You are different, world is different, this is different, that is different. Because mind is resolved, and you have an experience of a Advaita, non-duality. So same way, they want a consciously resolving the mind, they want to experience non-duality, and they experience, correct? They experience the subject-object division is not there, because they resolve the mind. That's called Nirvikalpa Samadhi. Vikalpa, subject-object Vikalpa is no more there. They experience, correct? But it's an experience, it's not a knowledge. It's not a knowledge. Because the Ajnanam is there. That is how I said, their Samadhi is basically Andha Samadhi, Jada Samadhi, in which Avidya Vritti is there. Basically, and therefore, since Avidya is there, as he comes out of the Samadhi, again he will see the whole, this pluralistic world, duality. Whole duality will see. And then that duality is not able to resolve now. He is able to resolve in Samadhi, but now once you come out of that experience, and so that is how we say subject-object duality is mithya, etc. You should know. And therefore, there is no subject and object other than this Brahman, that is Atma. Both are mithya, both are non-separate from the Atma, etc. One has to know. So Vikalpas are mithya. Basically, you better know it. You consider them as a real, because Avidya is there. Since Avidya is there, he considers a real, and so he wants to consciously resolve them. So the difference between a deep sleep state and this Nirvikalpa Samadhi is this, that in a deep sleep state, you have an experience of a non-duality, but you are not aware of that experience, that I am right now experiencing non-duality, and that kind of awareness is not there in deep sleep state. Whereas in Samadhi, you are aware that I am experiencing non-duality. That's the difference. That's the difference between the two. But ultimately, it's an experience. Experience is not a knowledge, sir. Experience is not a knowledge. Sunrise is your experience. It is not your knowledge. There is no sunrise is a knowledge. And you experience basically a blue sky. And that is not knowledge. There is no blue sky is a knowledge. So what you experience and what knowledge is contrary, in fact. And therefore you think that you have resolved this duality, experiential duality. You don't experience duality, etc. But that is not knowledge. Because basically the duality is born of ignorance. And you have to consciously gain knowledge in a Jagrata Avastha, in waking state, that there is no duality at all. Duality is a mithya. What you see is really not there. So for that you need a jnana. For that you need a thoughts. For that you need a knowledge. For that you need a mind. And for that you need a waking state, not samadhi. It will not help. And therefore, such fancies are there in the people about samadhi and all that. So far Vedanta is concerned, yoga samadhi is useless thing. Useless thing. Totally useless. If you want some relaxation of your mind, body, etc., and if you want to do. But that the Nirvikalpa Samadhi, etc., also you can gain after a long, so many years will go. And then you gain, say, experience of such a non-duality. Better understand in a waking state that everything is mithya. There is a non-duality, that is the truth of the thing. And therefore, anyway, this is by the way. So, they have a successful continuation of avidya vritti. The ignorance is there in both. It may be a deep sleep state, or it may be a samadhi. Nirvikalpa samadhi is also there. And so we are not interested in that. Vidyaranya says, well, here, now let's talk about our nirvikalpa samadhi. So when we dwell upon this teaching, basically, initially I consciously dwell upon the teaching, and there is object of meditation, that is self, etc. in teaching also, and that is Brahman, or the self. And in this kind of an absorption, well, when this subject and object are clearly there, like when you start nididhyasanam, you know that you are a meditator right now, and you are dwelling upon the self. That's a real self, that I am free from any kind of I am free from any blemish, I am shuddha, I am asangaha, etc. So that is what you want to think about yourself. So that way it is object of meditation. Swamiji, there is no object of meditation, because you are talking about the self, correct? But right now I am a meditator, then object of meditation is this self which has been taught to me in a shravana. So that way. And you have an effort. So you have effort, you have a will. First thing is you have a will. Please understand now. You have a will that I want to meditate upon myself. And so that will is there. Then will-based effort is there. In a mind you want to fix the mind. You want to entertain the thought pertaining to the self. And then you want to definitely retain those thoughts also. So that effort also is there. Will-based effort also is there. Right? So, which we call as a dhyana. So there is a dhyata, then there is a dhyam, is our Brahman or our self, which has been taught in the Vedanta, and which is free from all kind of limitations, and there is a process called dhyana. So initially when you start, this triputi is there, dhyata, dhyanam and dhyam. Three things are there. And now afterwards, if I continue the efforts, well, after some time, just because of sheer habit of the mind, well, that particular vritti continues in the mind. And it does not require then later a conscious effort. Initially you require an effort, etc. But later you don't require a conscious effort or a will to entertain that thought. It's like, paddling a cycle. Like you want to paddle a cycle. So there is a will. Let me paddle a cycle. So first thing is a will. And then you paddle. So that's effort, will-based effort. And after paddling, well, now will also has gone, that let me paddle, etc. Effort also has gone, now you no more paddle also, still the cycle continues for some time, right? So, that cycle will run for some time. So definitely, it's because there is a momentum in running, and so it continues to run for some time. So even though I don't paddle anymore, I don't have a will anymore to paddle, no effort also is there, still the thing continues. So this is another faculty of a mind. If you continue, so initially you are a dhyata, as a nididhyasan karta, etc. You are a meditator, and you entertain a thought pertaining to self, and you want to continue those thoughts, a flow of thoughts pertaining to the self, similar thoughts. All that is will-based. But once you continue like that, then definitely by sheer habit, well, even without your will and will-based effort, that those thoughts remain. And that is very important. And that we have seen also in case of people, like in Shivaratri, etc. Or some people in India, they keep this kind of a Nama Sankirtana. They arrange also. And then Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. They continuously chant with different tunes. Very beautiful, very beautiful. And there are people who are very expert in that, and they chant also. They have certain classical, ragas, etc. With those ragas they chant, including Malkams and all. It's so beautiful. And suppose you are sitting. Initially you have an effort to involve yourself in that. And suppose you sit for 2 hours. And now later part you are absorbed in that thinking. And then you thought, well, let me do Because there was Shivra, I mean some occasion was there, and so you have observed fast, etc. But still you want to take something, or let's say let you want to take a tea or coffee or something, and you got up, and some other things also you want to do. Now you have got up from that, and you are taking tea, etc., and you are talking to somebody also, and doing varieties of the things. Your mind will definitely continue Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare. Without your will, without your effort to sustain that thing, still mind continues. This is the thing. This is called samadhi. This is called samadhi. Absorption into a given thing without will-based effort. This is there, this faculty is there. A faculty of absorption is there in everybody's mind. And therefore, this is it is a sukshma vritti, but that continues, and without requiring an intervention of any ahankara, etc. That let me continue. Will means basically ahankara is involved. That also is not there. Same way here also I am absorbed in the teaching. Well, definitely after some time. Initially you will have to definitely entertain the thought pertaining to the self based on the teaching, and then retain the thoughts also. Definitely effort is required. But later on, well, definitely this teaching it just continues. If you have a clarity, it just continues in your mind without your will. That is the person, dhyata, without the meditators, well, he is absent now, and even the will-based effort, that is dhyanam, etc., also is not there. Just object of meditation, that is the self with the certain attributes, etc., what we have discussed as asangaha, nitya, etc., they just continue. We say that now this nididhyasanam has entered into samadhi, nirvikalpa samadhi, in which out of the three, dhyata, dhyanam and dhyayam, just the dhyayam, the object of meditation, that is this self with a certain attributes, they just keep on going. That is what we say. And even I can give you an example of dream also. Even dream also is like that. When you go to a sleep, you are aware of yourself, where you are sleeping, etc., and certain issues, etc. Everything you are aware of. But the moment you enter into a dream, well, you are not aware that you are sleeping in this particular place, etc. Nothing you are aware of. You are just aware of the dream only, and you see also yourself in that dream. So other than that dream world, nothing remains. So this kind of a thing is there. This faculty is there. So definitely this is called nirvikalpa samadhi, in which out of the three, these are the vikalpas, dhyata, dhyanam and dhyayam. Out of this, dhyata is dropped, the will has gone now, dhyanam, that is the effort, will-based effort also is gone, to retain thought, etc. also is no more there, and still it just goes on. It happens after some practice, but it happens. So this a total absorption in that teaching is called nirvikalpa samadhi. So so division, nirvikalpa means basically the division of subject and object, etc., and instrument is not there. Instrument is dhyana, subject means that dhyata, both are dropped. Look at the shloka now. Dhyatrudhyane parityajya. So dhyatrudhyane parityajya means dhyatrudhyane is basically samasa. Dhyata cha dhyanam cha dhyatrudhyane, that is a dvandva samasa. So dhyata, nididhyasana karta, and dhyanam, the effort, the process of meditation, in which you are entertaining a thought and retaining the thought, etc. All this in that so dhyata indicates a will. Naturally, will is based on the person. So dhyata indicates a will, and dhyanam indicates will-based effort. Both are parityajya. So parityajati. So first will is dropped, kramat. So Vidyaranya says kramat. So first will is dropped, and once will is dropped, will-based effort also will go away. So that is how dhyata and dhyanam both are resolved. Then what remains? Just dhyayam will remain. Dhyay eka gocharam nivata deepavat chittam. So Nivata Deepavat Dhyayeka Gocharam Bhavati. So the mind is dwelling upon the object alone to the exclusion of the subject and the instruments, etc. So both are not there. Initially when I started, the subject was there, object of meditation, and the instrument, that is mind, etc., in which all this process, retaining and entertaining the thought, etc., was also there. But now they both are, they are not noticeable. They are there, but definitely they are not noticeable. Since will and will-based effort is no more involved, the process is not noticeable. In class also it happens. Some person tells also. Sometimes you are absorbed in the teaching so much that you are not aware that you are a listener also. And you are not aware of the time, you are not aware of the surrounding, nothing. It happens sometimes. Well, so I am sitting as a student and listening right now, the teaching, etc. In your mind, just teaching, the words of the teacher are there, nothing else. Well, so this is called Nirvikalpa Samadhi. Out of the three, two are dropped. Only one thing left now. No more Vikalpas. Dhyata, Dhyanam and Dhyayam, etc. is not there. So Dhyaya Eka Gocharam, he says, Gocharam, Vishayam. Dhyaya Ekaha Vishaya Yasya Tad Dhyaya Eka Gocharam. So basically only Dhyayam is left over. Only the teaching pertaining to self remains. I mean, teaching is basically all these things, that different, the similar thoughts pertaining to the self, they only remain. Well, I'm right now dwelling upon that kind of awareness also is not there. Very effort of retaining, etc. also is not there. Just the teaching remains, and you are absorbed in the teaching, and the very thoughts are as to absorbed into that. And so this is called Samadhi. And they have given example, Nivata Deepavat Chittam. So like a flame, kept in a very breezeless place. So no more flickering. Well, such a same way, his mind is no more flicker. It doesn't project dhyata and dhyanam. It is just absorbed in a dhyayam. A state of absorption takes place. That's called samadhi. Okay, but then it is a thoughtless state. Is it a thoughtless state? No. It is not a thoughtless state, even though it is a Nirvikalpa Samadhi. Even the yogi's Nirvikalpa Samadhi also is not a thoughtless state. He calls as a thoughtless state, but it is not. And our Nirvikalpa Samadhi also is not a thoughtless state. Then what it is? We'll see in the afternoon. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.